This is Vanessa Joy here for Adorama TV, and I'm going to show you how to shoot both light and airy and dark and moody in the same place, what to look for, what to do, how to change it up. All right, so here we are in Asbury Park Convention Hall, and I want to shoot two different styles in the same area to show you what to look for lighting, as well as background and choice of position and where you are. I am shooting with the Canon R5, and I have the 85mm, the RF version. This is a lovely portrait lens because we have the lovely Juliana with me today. So first thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you some options for shooting light and airy. So it's a cliche thing, but what I'm looking for is a nice, bright, somewhat whimsical, hazy, maybe a little bit vibrant as far as colors go, look of a photo. So the first thing I want to look for is my light. I want to be able to create a nice white or flat light on her face, nice light background. So the first thing I'm going to do actually is shoot right into the light because that's kind of easy. So I'm going to grab a reflector and we're going to start with Juliana right over here in the cold, sorry. So now we have this nice light on her face. We'll get pretty close, right about there. Turn your head a little bit that way. And actually you're gonna go on the other side because then she can give me her favorite side. Sorry, Ike. Okay. We're always very conscious of making sure we do that. There we go, so right about there. So now she's got nice light on her face, but it's darker on her face. The exposure is darker in her face than the background. The background is brighter. So it's gonna go really completely white. So let's go ahead and get started. Literal perfection, and we're done. Literally one photo in. That is it, friends. So there we go, beautiful light and airy. That's what we're going for. We're exposing for the skin, blowing out the backgrounds. I ended up being, I'm not even totally wide open, although I could have been. I'm at 3.2 right now, so it's not even totally wide open. 3.2, 125th of a second, 800 on my ISO. Let's go ahead and lower my ISO just to get a cleaner image. And with that, I can go down to probably 2.2. Yeah, we'll get shallower depth of field. That looks amazing. Nice eye focus. We are backlit, so I will say having this awesome camera system and this lens is really doing me some favors here. But the biggest thing is having this reflector because it's letting a little bit of light spill on her. Perfect. Maybe like put your hands kind of on your neck, your shoulder. Love that, maybe on this side. So let me give you one more option in case you don't have just a big bright window to put her in, and because she's also cold, so we should move over here. So right about, if you come, let's see, come right here, and this is what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for like a nice white background that I can put her in. I am gonna bring that no, you're perfect right there. So I'm gonna shoot in a way where I'm not getting most of the brick, I'm just getting that light side, and then I think this is gonna go on this side, opposite there, just to fill in that shadow. Yep. Okay. Now the main light source is still here in front of her for the most part, but we're just giving her a little bit of extra fill. I could actually mess with my exposure ever so slightly. Awesome. This is really pretty. I'm probably a little bit warm right now. I think I'm on like cloudy day for my white balance. Great. All right, so now let's make the switch. We were light and airy, let's go dark and moody. First thing to do when it comes to dark and moody, for me anyways, I like to find a darker background. So that's what we're going for. Now, in addition to finding the darker background, I want my subject closer to the light, because what happens when you're closer to the light? You get more of a difference between the highlight and shadow. So I'm gonna get more of a contrasty look, which is gonna lend itself to be a little bit more moody. So I've got my dark background. Now we're gonna get as close as we can to the light versus before we were actually further away from the light. Now for these, I'm not gonna fill her shadow side. It's actually filled a little bit right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create negative fill. Now, I could, if I wanted to, take my reflector, this Glow Adorama 5-in-1 reflector, which does have the black side, but instead of doing that just for fun, I'm gonna open an umbrella instead. And we're gonna just put it right here because it's gonna do pretty much the same thing. So if I take this away, on the left side of her face, you can see there's some shadow, but it is filled in by the rest of this ambiance. But if I move this here and block it, it's a little bit darker. See the difference? Not a ton, but enough. That is amazing. Perfect. And I am shooting more on the shadow side of her versus the lighter side. Nice. And then look kind of right off this way. That is amazing. Let's get perfect. Nice. Her hair is just going straight into the back. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my reflector, but I'm going to use it as a hair light, not as a way of filling in those shadows, because I love these shadows. They look great. I just want to separate her from the background a little bit. Boop. So probably right there. And what that should do is give us, a little bit more contrast in your hair, which is actually going to help the whole dark and moody thing. Amazing. Fantastic. And then I love that. Do that again. Yeah, no, I like that hand. That was good. I should just not tell you to do anything. Do that, but keep your eyes here and chin down a little. Yeah. And then eyes to me. Awesome, right there. I want to do one more dark and moody. But to do this, I really need a hard light source. That's what I'm looking for. And we're in a place where there really isn't. We need a small light source. That's how we get a hard light source. So what can we do? All right, so thank you, cameraman. We are going to block the rest of the light out here. So Ike, if you don't mind, right there. Yeah. That looks amazing. Let me try to go a little closer. I know it's like crazy. Perfect. And then, play with your hands a little. And then you could look like up at the palm tree area. Yeah. Beautiful. And then eyes back to me. A little bit warm here, but it still gave us that nice harsh shadow. Let me just fix the white balance because I'm gonna like it if I'm in control of the white balance. I just had it set to auto. Perfect. That looks amazing. And kind of smirk there. Nice. Oh, gorgeous. All right, so there we go. Here are all of the photos that I took, and you can get a good feel for these backlit ones. Nice, light and airy. These are all straight out of camera. I would say obviously, but maybe it's not. And then still having that nice light and airy background by just choosing a background that it has a little bit more light to it, and then also moving her away from the window. Now we did the opposite when we went for a more dark and moody look. We moved her as close to the window as we could and then shot into a dark background. The closer she is to the window, the more the inverse square law will help us have that nice quick fall off, so you'll get just a more contrasty image, even though it's nice and soft. We're not looking at hard shadows here, it's soft light, but because we're so close to the light source, you get that. And then definitely loved when we got this reflector going here and like see how it separates her from the background. Amazing. And then our last ones here, using some of this ambient light and then messing around with the color a bit. So let me show you the ones that I liked the most. These right here. And you know what, if I'm gonna pick just a few favorites, let me just pick a few favorites, pull them into Lightroom and edit them. All right, so here are the final 5 photos that I liked. Let's get to editing them. You know, between these two right here, I actually do like this picture better. You'll probably see it in the thumbnail, I don't know. But I liked when we put the reflector here. So I might try to mimic that reflector, separating her from the background, highlighting her hair a little bit on this photo. Let's see what we end up with. So editing these photos for the light and airy style, I used first my Joyfully Simple preset and then my, light and airy preset. And they worked great. You can grab these presets at presets.breatheyourpassion.com. I will say that the dark and moody vibes aren't as friendly to skin. Light and airy definitely tends to be a little bit more forgiving. So first I went over all of them with the local adjustment brush preset that I have to soften skin. I go through each one of them, softening the skin. Then I moved on to brightening and bluing up Juliana's eyes because, that's like her signature. So I wanted to make sure those were highlighted properly. Then I whitened the whites of her eyes a little bit. This was one of the last shoots we did for the day. So you're definitely going to notice her a little bit more tired, and whitening up the eyes helps. All of these are local adjustment presets that I have. So it's nice and quick. And then finally, and what I think is the most important thing, is I
do this thing called punching the lashes. Our eyes tend to go to points of contrast in a photo, so I really enjoy darkening up her lashes as well as her eyebrows so that they really pop in the image. Let me go through and give you a before and after. Definitely some editing done here. The dark and moody ones I probably would pull into Photoshop after this so that I could retouch the skin a little bit more. This last one here is definitely a little bit light and airy for my taste, but I know a lot of people will enjoy that, so we're just going to keep that there. And finally this one, which is probably my favorite photo. Here's your before and after. I am going to mess around with this. I'm going to go into my gradient tool and then go to sun flare. And I think this might give me that separation from the background that I was looking for. It's just a preset in here, but I can pull it in. That's probably a little bit too much there, so let me back off. So let's just keep that little bit there, then go over to my local adjustment brush using the sun flare still and see if I can give her a little bit of a highlight. And I think I can. That was a little bit messy. My computer is super choppy today and giving me a hard time. But let's see what we can do. Just lower the contrast a little bit. And let's not bring up the highlights too much. Yeah, this looks pretty good. I would just adjust it a little bit with the eraser and probably get what I was looking for out of that image that I like so much on the next image. So yeah, that's not too bad. If I show you the two of these together, I wonder if you could tell which one of these was done on the spot in camera and which one of these was done in Photoshop. Not too shabby. All right, here are the final photos from this session showing you that you can shoot a light and airy style or a dark and moody style pretty much wherever you go if you just know how to use a little bit of light.
So there you have it, both light and airy, dark and moody, all in one spot, just paying attention to light, manipulating the light a little bit, and looking for the backgrounds that are gonna help you out. My name is Vanessa Joy here for Adorama TV. Hit like, subscribe, ring the bell. I'll see you next time.